Hi, hello, bonjour, bonsoir. Um, Let me extend. Oh, hi. Let's mute now. Okay, so that's good. At least I know the audio is working. So hi, here's a mess, but oh well. Hi, welcome to the stream. Zoom is working, so I'll put the link into the YouTube chat box. So you're welcome to join on Zoom. Um, just to be aware, if you do join on Zoom, you are then live on YouTube. But you can have your camera off if you want to on Zoom, so it's up to you really. But please do mute while you're in Zoom unless you're speaking. Um, yeah, so welcome to the weekly stream. Yeah, those of you who joined on Tuesday know that I wore this jumper on Tuesday. um, yeah, so yeah, let's kick it off. Let's kick it off. The mess, yeah, the mess of it all. Yeah, the mess of it all. Yeah. My nose is really, yeah, the mess of it all. Oh, hi. So this really reminds me of like when I think about that title, it reminds me of this feeling has come up of around, when you kind of get into this message at first, there's a lot of wanting to get out of this, like wanting to escape the messiness, to escape the humanness, like wanting to like be in the silence, be in the nothingness, the emptiness, and get out of this messiness. But yeah, so I'm here today to say how messy, how messy, how messy life can be, how chaotic life can be. At least in this experience, it's very chaotic and very messy. I almost cancelled the stream because of it, like a chaotic life. I almost didn't make it to do this stream, but yeah, I managed to still make it. I don't know if people, particularly spiritual people, want to hear about the chaos and the messiness. I get the sense they more want to hear about the the stillness and the order and the peacefulness. And that's not a bad thing or criticism, but that's not the experience here. I mean, in one way it is, but in another way it isn't. Like it, on one hand, and talk about the chaos, the messiness, the humanness, the human experience, this particular makeup of a human experience. And then on the other hand, they could be talking about the absolute stillness, the absolute freedom, the absolute emptiness. And they really are one and the same. Like you can't find the dividing line between them. Like it used to feel like this was somehow wrong, like this life was somehow wrong. And so there was so much energy and so much um, focus on improvement, on getting to a better place, on sorting it all out. On becoming and the belief in that this wasn't perfection, this wasn't the way it was supposed to be. Maybe you can't hear that, it's music blaring out next door. um, and yeah, and there is this attempting to make life as easier as possible, as enjoyable as possible, as yeah, yeah, as enjoyable as possible, as easy, so that they can be easier functioning, and dealing with this human dealing with this human experience, which is really crazy. Really, really crazy full on experience. It's really crazy. So there is an attempt to simplify that and simplify that and kind of like work with it, work with the patterns and work with the way it flows. Um, yeah. So there is that, that there is that happening. But there is a difference, a drastic difference. That question of what's the point if life's going to be the same regardless of non-duality, this waking up or not. Like, if life is still life, then what's the point? But there is a difference. There is a difference. Life may still be a mess, chaotic, but there will be a difference. There will be a difference. But it's not a difference. It's not a difference for you, that character, that human character. But there is a difference because you aren't that character. So while you are that character, you also aren't that character, and that's the freedom. It's just a subtle difference, but a gigantic difference. Gigantic difference, a huge difference. Oh, it's the computer fan. I can hear this blowing sound. Computer fan. Getting hot. Um, yeah, so yeah. Okay, so non-duality. What are we speaking about here? So non-duality, non-duality is speaking about how this is whole and not divided. It's not dual. There aren't two things. There aren't a this and a that, a me and a you, up and a down. I mean, there are those things in the human world, the human expression. But what we're saying is these things aren't actually true. They aren't actually a real separation, a real opposite. These opposites seem to play and appear, but they're not actually what we perceive them to be. They're not independent objects or things or experiences. They're whole. This isn't a divided reality. And this sense of division, this sense of this separate you, this separate person that feels separate and believes itself to be separate and therefore experiences it as a separate. This can drop, this can crumble, this false identity, this false position, this false idea can be questioned and can crumble, can dissolve, can sink back into nothing, can expand into everything, can be seen through, but for not as not truth, as not actually an independent thing. And this is simply what non-duality is. Collapsing of this. Oh no, I'm not live. I'm just seeing on my preparing live stream. What? I've been streaming for ages. Oh well, I'm not sure what's happening. Oh, I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah. So it's a really beautiful thing. It's a really beautiful thing to hear, to resonate with. That this is actually whole. That there isn't division. There isn't separateness. Oh, okay. It seemed as if it wasn't streaming. It's saying preparing to live stream. Okay. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and it's so beautiful in the simplicity of it. How that basically is it. It's such a simple thing, a simple a simple like a simple such a simple thing, simple pointing, a simple yeah, so simple. But it's so simple, but this identified mind, this identification to the mind, to the thinking, this identification that believes in separation, believes in its own autonomy, believes in its own volition. There seems to be a process of that, a process of that. I don't, I don't know, a process of that crumbling. I'll just think of crumbling. Crumbling. I felt more like a throbbing, like a mm, that doing that. Mm, 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 An expansion of that out. It believes it's solid and separate, and it's going against this and going no, and it's I'm separate, and it's pushing its boundaries, pushing its borders, and fighting, and then yeah, this crumbling, but or expansion. Yeah. Anyway, doesn't really matter. It's just trying to describe it in language and pictures to express what seems to happen, how this illusion of separateness can be seen through it and can dissolve or expand back into this empty fullness. So yes, there will still be a human. There will still be experience happening, things happening. There will still be a personality, conditioning. There will still be memory. There will still be the ability to imagine thoughts happening, emotions happening. responsibilities happening. There will still be the chaos and the mess of it all. There is no getting out of this. But there can be this beautiful surrender, or this beautiful expansion that is all of this. That is this life. Such a funny thing. That's it. Okay, so we'll open for any questions. Might do a shorter stream today, but we'll see if any questions come in. So Anita.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi Dee, did you want to speak?
Yeah, can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, heard I've heard recently that the way to um access or experience what you talk about experientially is through our senses. I just wondered what you if you could talk about that, or if you think that's true, or
Um, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that's the way to experience it, but in a way, yeah. I mean, in a way, the senses are like they're direct. They are, as opposed to like thinking, that's more abstract and it's not really. It's a sense as well, but it's not. It's more, yeah, abstraction, or whereas like what you can feel and hear and touch and taste is very much not in thought. It's very direct, and so yeah, that's kind of like happening directly. Whereas thoughts are happening directly too, but they're talking about something else, somewhere else, and it's about, whereas the senses are more direct, they are more, yeah.
Yeah. Because I recently went on a Vipassana meditation, like a 10-day silent Vipassana meditation. And in that, it was all about like um the senses
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Is that in Hereford? Oh no, no, you've moved now, haven't you? Somewhere else, not in
Yeah,
London.
I'm in Spain at the moment. So it was in Spain. It was in it was north of Madrid. There's a center there. Yeah.
Right, right, yeah.
And so I spent like 10 days exploring senses and
Mm,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. The only problem is, like, the only problem is that's not going to give you anything, and so the
Hmm.
seeker wants to find something.
Hmm. Yeah.
So really, thoughts aren't a problem either, but it's like, yeah, the um the mind, the seeker, it wants to find something it can use and have, and so
Hmm.
you know, it's not for fulfilling or it's not enough. It wants something more meaningful and more, you know, it can like make a story out of. You can't really make a story out of the sense of what you can feel or hear, or it's hard to
Yeah.
use it. You can't use it in your story, so
No.
it's a bit unfulfilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was quite interesting though, because like I found that every thought had like a sensation.
Okay.
No, I don't know if that's your experience or...
I'm not sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, it makes sense that it would have though. It makes sense.
Yeah.
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 I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. So I've kind of trying to practice to be more with my senses and thought, but I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I wouldn't, I'm not suggesting that at all. I wouldn't say you need to be more present with the senses.
No, no, you
But,
wouldn't.
no.
Okay.
But yeah, as a practice or as a, yeah, yeah. This idea of you, how you're going to take it into your story and practice it now.
Yeah.
You're going to keep doing this now and come back to the present all the time now as a practice. And it's like, who is
Yeah.
this person that's going to always be doing that? It's impossible. Because you
Yeah.
aren't always, you want a permanent thing. You appear and disappear.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. I don't always. I don't always manage to do it anyway.
No, no, you can't. You can't.
It's impossible. Yeah. It's a kind of impossible task. Mm.
Yeah. But there is this that is always it always is here, regardless of what
Mm.
is happening.
Mm. Yeah.
So the attention's more on the senses, great. But when it isn't, that's also okay as well. It's not dependent upon anything.
Mm. Yeah. I guess it's. I was trying to identify like where my react. Where my reactivity or reactions and things come from. And I'm thinking, well, that comes from the personal identity. so then my kind of thinking was then, well, if you identify if it's more this, you identify with the sensations rather than the thought, then it becomes less kind of like, it doesn't grip you as much, you know. I had this idea that that was more reality than thoughts, but
Yeah, no,
more closer to reality than thoughts,
yeah,
and stories, and you know, conditioned responses and stuff.
yeah. It makes sense, and maybe you're right, but here it doesn't feel
Mm.
like that. Here it feels like
Okay.
thought is equally valid. Like I don't see anything wrong
Yeah,
with thoughts either, but yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know, I don't feel like that.
yeah.
I think once you like divide things off and say this is good, this is bad, this is
Mm.
okay, this isn't, it creates that separation, that division, and then that trying to control that and keep this way rather than that way, and it causes so much
Yeah,
tension, so much problems. Trying to manage what's happening rather than what's happening being what's happening freely.
really, yeah. Mm.
It's like a desire to like control it and to yeah manage the experience.
Mm. I think I'm trying to find where the I is, or you know, the source of the I, or whatever, um, like whatever I believe myself to be, what that is, or trying to get to the core of that.
Yeah.
There's something like that.
I suppose the only way of doing that really is the obvious way is to go into that,
Yeah.
follow that thought, follow that feeling.
Mm. Yeah.
And it feels like that's going to lead somewhere. You're gonna get somewhere in that.
Mm.
That's okay if it feels like you're gonna get somewhere in that. But it's like yeah, there's nowhere to get to, so it will end in nothing. It will end in in this like emptiness and
Yeah.
and this fullness.
Mm. Yeah. It's so strange. There's nothing to do, but you can't stop doing stuff. Mm.
Yeah, I'd say yeah, I wouldn't say there's nothing to do. There's always things you can do, but
Yeah.
not in terms of like doing happens. It happens doing, but it's like
Yeah.
yeah,
Doing.
it's this sense of losing something and then trying to find something.
Yeah.
And while that's playing, that will keep playing, just trying to find something.
Mm.
This is the rejection of what is
Yeah.
as not it, not
Mm.
good enough, not fulfilling enough.
I think I have the, I don't know if it's true or not, but I have the, whether the assumption or whatever, that that there's a sense, there's a separateness here that I need to get, that, you know, that needs to go or
Yeah,
dissolve or something. I
yeah.
don't.
It's like a self-rejection in a way, like
Yeah.
rejecting yourself.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or if I believe I'm not separate, I don't think, I don't know if I tell myself I'm not separate, I don't know if that will, if that doesn't, nothing, you know, if that's the way, or if that works. Mm. Like I know intellectually I'm not separate, but I think experientially it doesn't feel like that. I'm not separate. Yeah. Feels I am identified. with the character or something like that. Although I don't know, I have no proof of that. And it's strange because I don't even know what I'm looking for.
Thank you, Dee. Yeah,
Thanks.
thank you. Okay. They're in the chat. How to stop seeking. Yeah. Seeking will stop when it stops. Right, to give you a prescription of how to do it, a method of how to do it would be still seeking. That is seeking. So it will just stop when it stops.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you. It goes so quick, you know. I was going to share something and it's there, and the time I go on the Zoom, it's like, what was it?
It's gone.
Yes, that's, oh my gosh, everything is this. The feeling of depression, heaviness. When you say that it doesn't matter, you know, with the seeking or trying to obtain, you always end up with nothing because it's always nothing. So it's like, oh, but that's the permanent, is the nothing in a way. You know, everything seems to be shifting sense of happiness or unhappiness. Or I know it feels like it's for someone because it's so tight in a way, you know, but it's that as well, isn't it? It's there's it's everything that shows up, but then when there's someone, there's not the nothing, or it seems like it. Is it nothing playing hide and seek with itself? Yeah, it seems to be difficult emotions, you know, and it's almost like the illusion of the eyes back full on, like, you thought you got rid of me, I'm here. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
But then trying to get rid of that, like you mentioned today, it's like self-hatred, or, you know, saying, oh, I shouldn't be here, I'm the one in the way of what life should be like. And it's all these thoughts and emotions, and you can go to sleep and the next day none of that seemed to ever have happened. This
Yeah.
but like you said at the beginning, the chaotic life that seems to be going on. I've got a friend whose daughter has completely cut her out of her life, and they've got a mutual friend who passed away, and it's her funeral tomorrow, and the daughter said, don't come, you know, like, she's my friend, don't come to her funeral, whereas the friend that had said that she'd like the mother to be there as well. And it's like, oh my gosh, get me out of here. Like, what's this world? You know, what crazy world. It's like, what craziness, you know. These hectic relationship where people cut each other out. It's like, I don't get it. And yet when I hear non-duality, it seems like it's everything, that the freedom of it is, it's everything, there's no conditions. And it's like, yes, it's because I feel I'm in a position, it feels hard, you know. It feels like it's because it's the idea that I want people to love each other, you know. And when I see bullying one way or another, it's just like, I find it really, yeah, I find it upsetting, you know. It's
Yeah, but this is like, it's the inclusion of everything. So even that upsetting feeling that you have,
yeah,
it's love. It's love appearing as that.
yes, yeah, yeah. It's not trying to be spiritual, and now I love everybody, even if they are bullies and they're bullying, you know. I know it's
It's appearing as everything.
yes, yeah. nodding the head, saying yes, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I needed to share that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. I like your I like how you share the joy of this.
Oh, it's just like, wow, it's just so crazy. It's just crazy.
It's so beautiful. It's beyond the beauty we have in our heads as humans, this idea of beauty. It's so beyond that. It makes it even more beautiful. It's beyond our limited ideas of right and wrong and beauty and ugly. It's beyond all of that. It's inclusive of all of that. And so it's so
Yeah.
conditional. It's just, yeah, it's beyond our capability to imagine that.
Yeah, I guess in a way it's something that the saying it's rocking my world, you know, it's rocking the boat of what life should be like. It's rocking that, no, this is not how life should be like. This is how life is. It's like full on in your face.
Yeah. And it's not,
You know that.
and it's not telling anyone that. It's just, it is that.
There's no understanding, but oh no, but I don't need it. It's like this.
It is that. It is this.
Oh,
It is this.
oh wow.
It is like, yeah, wow. It's like,
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
yeah.
Like, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, thank you.
Nice, yeah, nice
Thank you.
talking to you, Catherine. Oh, Chris said something. Yeah. Hi, Kelly, or wish I'd made notes. I was reading John Wheeler's book and it brought up some questions. Where is the me? It feels for me that the me is in my history, my memories. How to see through this? Where is the me? Yeah. I'm not sure of that book, or that speaker, but well, non-duality is exposing that, exposing the illusion of this sense of you being an individual, that being true, that being who you actually are. So there is this seeming character, personality, experience of someone, and that is felt to be who you are. It's felt to be that's me at some point. But then this message is pointing and questioning that the validity of that experience, of that story, of that thought. Just keep reading that book and keep I don't know, follow whatever you resonate with. Why do some people see it and others do not? Yeah. Well, it's not that anyone sees it. No one actually sees it. It seems like that when you feel as if you are real and you are someone, that somebody else out there seems to have seen it and understood it and got it. but that's not true. That's your projection that somebody has it. And then you in here haven't seen it. You in here are still someone, and them out there are not someone. That's just another idea, another belief, another, yeah, another trip. But in another way, I can take that and understand. It seems as if there are humans that do seem to see through that illusion. There are humans where that illusion of someone separate seems to drop. And why does that happen? I don't know. From my experience, I can only say from listening to, from resonating with, from going into this subject, from fully committing to this subject and fully falling in love with it, like falling in love with it. But yeah, I don't know. I can't say do this, and then that it's just not known. What is known is that there is this freedom, and there is this empty fullness, and this is all there is, and this is what is. And what is longed for isn't something in the future, isn't some idea or picture of this, but actually this, what is happening, all of it, every little part of it, every thought, feeling, behavior, sensation, idea, all of it, emotion, all of it. This is all there is. Thank you, Chris, for your question. Can I talk one-to-one? Would it help me? Yeah. Yeah, you can book a one-to-one. But yeah, we can maybe send me an email. We'll talk about it. Something. Just go into the chat. Can the me drop despite of not having learned to take responsibility as an adult me? The illusion can drop anytime because it's not actually a true me, a true separateness. So it can always drop. And whether you are the body's a child or the body's grown up. So yeah, there's no rules about when this can happen. Yeah. But if you were a child and this happened, then I suppose there would still need to be, well, there would need to still be growing into a human, a grown up. You'd have to still learn about human society, human rules, human, yeah, laws, and you know, functioning as a human. In some way it would be easier, in some way it would be harder. Like it feels like here that this had to be a growing up after this shift, or even during this shift. There's been this having to mature, this maturing that's happened, this growing up that's happened. This understanding myself. I mean, growing up, it's understanding myself better and better and better. This embodiment into the human more and more. Yeah. So rather than avoiding the human, it's more, it feels more more embodying of the human. But that could be different for different humans. I won't speak for all humans in that. It depends on what condition you're in before you get into this subject. If you're already kind of balanced and healthy and established, maybe you won't need to do that. But yeah, if you're a child, then you would have to grow and develop into who you are as a human expression. Yeah. Well, what fun! What fun! What fun. Yeah. Oh, lovely to speak and talk about non-duality. Thank you for joining and speaking and sharing and questions on the chat. So, okay, lots of love. Bye.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly.
you.
Thanks.